40 says find the simplest form. Oh, that's lame. Okay, so we're just reducing. Well, it looks like on part A we can reduce by 2's, so let's do it. If I reduce by 2, I get 55 over 62. And then I don't think anything else can divide in that, because the only thing that divides into 55 is 5 and 11. Poop. Okay, on part B, I think we can divide by maybe some 7's. And it makes 5 over 6. And that's as far as we can go. On part C, goodness, I don't know what you can do with that one. Well, 85 is divisible by 5 and something. Let me see. 85 divided by 5. Nope. 85 divided by 5. 17. Oh, okay. Okay, so I know 85 can be divided by 5 and 17. Let's see if 136 can be divided by 17. Holy poop, it can. It's 8. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 17s. And how the heck did I come up with that? Well, I looked at this 85 and I said, hey, you're odd looking. And I said, well, you got a 5 in you, so let me divide you by 5. And then I said, oh my gosh, that's a prime, 17. So I knew that 85 could be divided by 5 because it has a 5 on it. And when I divided by 5, I got 17. And holy poop, this other sucker can be divided by 17 also. So that gives me negative 5 over, what was it, 8? Hey, exciting. So the only hard part of that was part C. But look at your smallest number and look and see what you can divide it by. Okay, let's go to number 42. Number 42 says determine whether the following pairs are equal. Okay, well, it says something about the same denominator. But one thing that you can do is you can just cross multiply. And they should have the same crosses. So 3 times 144 should be the same thing as negative 12 times negative 36. Let me see if it is. 3 times 144, the diagonal multiplication is 432. 12 times 36, the diagonal multiplication is 432. So that means, yes, they are the same. Let's try part B. Diagonally multiply. So let's do negative 18 times 31. And then what's the other one? 62 times negative 26. Okay, and we get negative 558 for the first sucker and 1612 for the second sucker. Yeah. Okay, so since these numbers are not the same, then they are not equal fractions. So that's why we have equal and then not equal. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's try 44. It says change the following fractions to mixed numbers, okay? Well, this is where we do old school divide. We say 7 goes into 121 once. When we subtract, we get 51. Then 7 goes into 51 7 times to get 49. And then we subtract and we get 2. So that means we have big fat 17 from the top. And then the remainder 2 over what we divided by 7. All right, let's go to part B. Part B says 100 divides into 281. Well, we kind of already know this, but 100 goes into here twice. We subtract down and we get 81. So, and then after that, it's decimal time, but we don't want a decimal. So I'm going to put the big fat 2 from the top, 2. I'm going to put the 81 from the remainder, 81, all over what we divided by, 100. And then I don't think that reduces, because the only thing that goes into 81 is a bunch of 3s, and the only thing that goes into 100 is like 2s and 5s. Okay, the next one we're going to move to is 46. It says a class consists of 1/5 freshmen, 3/10 sophomores, 3/10 juniors, and the rest are seniors. What fraction of the class is seniors? Okay, so that means all 3 of these kind of people are going to be added together. 1/5 plus 3/10 plus another 3/10 plus the seniors should equal up to a whole. Because if you think about this as like a slice of pizza, 1/5 plus the 3/10 plus the 3/10 plus the other piece of pizza will come up with a whole pizza. So first, let's maybe change this 1/5 to a common denominator so we can figure out what the WHOLE is, whole. Okay, so if I want a common denominator, I think I'm going to try and get a 10, because these other 2 things have 10s. So if I try and get a 10, I could multiply by 2's. And this becomes 2 over 5, 2 over 10 plus 3 over 10 plus 3 over 10 plus, now we can say that the seniors is definitely going to be a fraction. It's going to be something over 10, because all these others are 10. And it's supposed to equal to a whole. Well, if the denominator's 10, what can I put on the top to make a whole? And a whole means 1. I can put a 10. So let's ask ourselves, 2 plus 3 plus 3, what is that? 6. That makes 8. Okay, but then I have to add something else to get this whole of 10. So 8 plus what could give me this whole of 10? And that means seniors will have to be 2. So the question was, what fraction of the class is seniors? Well, we just figured it out, 2 over 10. But that can reduce to 1 over 5 because you divide by 2. Yay! Okay, let's look at 47. It's pretty much the same thing. It says, from a 28-foot roll of rubber hose, a person cuts lengths of this. How much hose is left on the roll? Okay. Well, first, let's change all these to improper fractions. And remember, that's where you take the bottom, 8, and you multiply it with 6, then add it to 3. So 8 times 6 plus 3 is 51 over 8, plus this next sucker, 2 times 6 plus 1 is 13 over 2, plus this next sucker, 4 times 7 is 28, plus 1 is 29 over, what is he over, 4. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to set up some common denominators. So to be a common denominator, I think I maybe want to get an 8 because that's the biggest guy. And if we look, this 13 over 2, I can multiply by 4 over 4 to get that 8. On the right, I can multiply that 4 by 2 over 2. Okay, so let's do it. This first fraction is 51 over 8. The second fraction is 52 over 8. This last one is 58 over 8. It's supposed to be a plus sign. Okay, then we're supposed to add something else to get the total amount of hose. And this hose, the total amount is 28. But let's remember that our common denominator here is 888. So I'm going to change this 28, that right now has a 1 on it, underneath it. I'm going to multiply it by 8 so I can get my common denominator. And I get 224 over 8. Okay, so let's go back. Those 3 pieces, when I added them together, the question is asking for what is the 4th piece, so that when I add them all up, I get 28 or 224 over 8. Okay, so let's treat it the same way. Let's add our tops. So 51 plus 52 plus 58 is 161. And then I want to know, what do I have to add to get a 224? So I have to add a 63. That way 161 plus 63 is 224. Okay, so my fraction is 63 over, what's the same common denominator? 8. And then let's see here. It wants a mixed number, a fraction, or a whole number. So we could type in 224 over 8. Or we could say 8 goes into 224. Sorry, not 8 goes into 224. We could say 8 goes into 63. Not 8 times, but 7. And I have a remainder of 7. And it's divided by 8. So you could either put 224 over 8 or 7 and 7/8.